So before we listen to the clip together and we break it down, we can hear the audio messages that I sent to Colin.
And I'm pretty sure, because I'm not going to show our messages, but I'm pretty sure desktop audio is on, so it should play. So we're going to try that.
Okay, haven't even finished the segment.
Whoa, sorry for the eardrum blowout, guys. Here we go. Let's try that again.
Also, I was driving.
Yes, so there's lots of...
listen to up
damn it, go back.
first today so that we can listen to it tomorrow because they have a segment about the rich men north of Richmond. And guess who they brought in to discuss it? Their domestic violent extremism expert. Either listen to it or don't, but either way, know that we will be going over this particular segment tomorrow because I'm going to scream. I'm just going to fucking scream.
So I heard that, and I was like, because a lot of times we'll find little clips and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I want to go into this cold.
Yeah.
I want to get an initial gut reaction, do that whole thing. But the emotion in your voice was like, I think I held off for about 15 minutes. And I was like, nope, this is fucking rough business, dude. So I'm queued up to it. And so it's right where we're just going to jump into it. And it's like a couple minutes long. We'll stop and start whenever you tell me.
Also, the tagline for this, because they give it, like, the episode is called Trump's Busy Week, Hit Songs, Extreme Themes, and Wagner Group's Africa Aims. Just a little context before we get into this.
So this is Hit Songs,
because you've all heard the song. You've all heard the song. You all know what it says.
Let's go.
At the Republican debate in Wisconsin, this was playing before the candidates even spoke.
And also, I should add, this was playing before anybody came out. It was like when they were coming out.
Right.
Oliver Anthony has since put out a response to this and was like, y'all motherfuckers don't realize I made this song about you.
Right.
I made this song about you.
The people on stage.
Yes.
You idiots.
Dum-dums. Anyways, carry on.
Richmond, north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
It's by Oliver Anthony. He is the first musician ever of any genre to top the Billboard 100 chart without making the list beforehand. That is how quickly his fame has risen.
Shut up.
His song takes the perspective of a working man who thinks the rich take advantage of him.
Pause.
That's a familiar theme in country and all sorts of music.
Takes the perspective of a working class man who thinks the rich take advantage of him. If you are not rich, you are being taken advantage of by the administrative class that rules this nation. It doesn't matter. If you are working class, you are being taken advantage of by the rich.
Yes.
There is no question about this.
The political class, the bureaucratic class, you're being taken advantage by every single one of them.
And every time we do a segment like this with NPR, it shows you how distant they are from reality and from what the reality is of people on the ground, from working class people.
But
they have no idea.
But this is National Public Radio.
It's for the people.
It's for the people.
It's where the people are. It's the Bremerton of podcasts. It's where the people are. That's what it's for. It's made for the people.
It's the Bremerton
Yeah, it's the Bremerton of podcasts. It's
a little rusty around the edges. It's a little Walmarty, but you know,
it's where the people are.
It's where the people are.
The song also nods to some conspiracy theories, which has caught the attention of experts on extremism.
Oh, caught the attention of experts on extremism.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so let's hear what they have to say about the conspiracy theories that are laden in this song.
Joining us now to discuss is NPR's domestic extremism correspondent.
Do you hear that?
Yusuf, good
They
morning.
brought on their domestic extremism expert to discuss this song with us. To go over the rich men north of Richmond.
So, like, a rich man north of Richmond, or a rich woman north of Richmond, we'll say.
Almost definitely.
Because
again, all the people who host this podcast,
DC.
north of Richmond.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes, because the Up First NPR podcast is based out of
DC.
Out of DC.
It's out of their DC office.
This is where they're at. Oh, hey, do Crystal and Sagar from Breaking Points, do they live in DC?
They work there for sure.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, Leila.
So why exactly is this song raising red flags?
Well, there's one line in it, and it goes,
One line.
I wish politicians would look out for minors, that's minors with an E, and not just minors on an island somewhere. And that second minors is with an O. And this is a reference to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. And Layla, you'll recall that Epstein was a sexual predator.
She
who
tips her hat
died-
for a second. It's a
little bit.
reference to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal because you can't call it a conspiracy theory.
No.
Because
It's real.
he's been proven, his actions have been proven, and then Ghislaine Maxwell is now in prison for apparently trafficking nobody to nobody.
Yes.
Right? So there are people who bought people from Ghislaine Maxwell and from Jeffrey Epstein, but we don't know who those people are, even though we have flight manifests, we have guest logs, we have proof of people who were or who have connection with Jeffrey Epstein with Ghislaine Maxwell.
A lot of really, really rich men north of Richmond and powerful, powerful people from around the globe have spent a lot of time on that island.
Right. So it's a conspiracy because you've refused the powers that be, the people connected with up first, because guaranteed they could get the information if they wanted it, right?
Yep.
Because the powers that be have chosen to not provide that information, who the actual perpetrators of these crimes are. It's a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Because you won't tell us who those people are, even though you know, you have the black book, you have all of Jeffrey Epstein's possessions.
We don't have the client list.
You don't know who it is. That's why it's a conspiracy theory, is because you won't tell us who it is. Isn't that interesting?
Super interesting.
Jail in 2019. But the far
Who
right
died in jail in
continues-
2019, she said.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself.
Who died in jail.
Right? Yeah, that's right. That's what we're
Totally.
supposed to say. Wink, wink. Because Jeffrey Epstein definitely didn't fucking kill himself.
circulate conspiracy theories about the circumstances of his death. And Anthony appears to nod to elements of the baseless QAnon conspiracy theory that claims that powerful elites are sex trafficking children.
Also, pause.
Baseless QAnon conspiracy.
Yes.
Even though we know who was on the fucking planes.
Right.
We know who went to the island.
We know that
Baseless.
We know that children are being trafficked.
Yep.
We know that there are many high fame individuals who have now been found guilty of many different sex crimes. We know that these individuals have connections with people who perpetrated sex crimes with minors, right? Lest we also not forget that the QAnon conspiracy theory was about much more than just child sex trafficking.
Yes.
It was about the consumption of children. It was about,
Satanic
adrenochrome.
rituals
Yeah,
and-
yeah, precisely. So even though they spun it as that, they sold it as that through all of 2020, through 2019 to shit on Donald Trump.
Yes.
Now that that's no longer expedient to their cause, they're willing to minimize the QAnon conspiracy theory to something about, celebrities trafficking minors. That's all this was about. Just celebrities trafficking minors.
Yep.
Right?
That's all.
Yes.
Oh, I have so many choice words, but we'll wait.
In some of his other online content. So it's really remarkable to hear these ideas in a song that's topping the charts.
It's remarkable.
and it's concerning
It's
to
remarkable because the charts are controlled, right? They're dictated by listens.
By
By the
listens
things-
and purchases.
The things that people are choosing to listen to.
Yes. This is the #1 song in America last week. You can't refute that. Billboard Top 100 hits, or the Hot 100 or whatever, that's what it does. It measures listens and it measures purchases. Every time, so one purchase counts as like 1 point. It's 100, Timcast did a whole breakdown on it because they've been involved in this thing. But it's like 150 streams, listens on, say, like Spotify, counts as like one purchase.
Yeah.
Do the fucking math on that. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. But regardless, even then, with those restraints, they still made the #1 spot.
If there were enough domestic violent extremists to push this song to the #1 spot, the government would already not exist.
Word.
It would already not exist.
Jan 6 would have been about 2 hours, and they would have had control of the Capitol, bitch.
It's beyond ridiculous, the
So
line that's
insane.
being spun from these
Yes.
people for a fucking song that gained natural popularity.
This underlines the importance of the populist movement. This speaks to so many people.
And they're scared.
Yes.
These people are scared.
So they're bringing out their fucking domestic violent extremist expert.
And yes, Deborah, they do have one person who reports on just domestic extremism.
Which, what a fucking cush job that is, dude.
Yeah.
What a fucking paycheck.
Who study the spread of conspiracy theories and extremist ideologies.
So tell us more about that. I mean, this is a song. Lots of people may simply like it for its musical qualities. How can it play a role in
Because the state
spreading
needs them to
extremism?
exist, Deborah.
I spoke to Jared Holt about this. He's with the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, and he says political movements always look for cultural artifacts like music or movies that can help popularize their ideas. But the problem here is that the song has been seized on by some far-right influencers, some of whom peddle anti-Semitism and transphobia.
Okay, so the issue with
Such a
this,
stretch,
the
dude.
issue with this song in general is that some people who believe actual extremist ideologies really like this song and they've used it in their videos. This is a real problem.
That's a real problem.
Because Oliver Anthony, that's obviously what he intended when he made the song.
Yeah.
Is that they would find it and use it to,
Yes.
to gather more people, to convince them to join their groups.
Because it organically became the #1 hit throughout the entirety of the country, because every person that likes this song is a domestic violent extremist brought into, what did they say? What did she say? Anti-Semitism and racism and
Yep.
all the isms that you can imagine.
Yeah,
all
every
those,
one of
you
them.
know, but because, you know, that's just the way it goes. Or a counter theory, I might add, is that people are finally fed up with the fucking corruption and fraud. And I mean, I don't know how to even explain it at this point, but everybody's so goddamn tired of the rich men north of Richmond running their fucking lives and, you know, siphoning money out of them and controlling their lives, that this guy wrote a song that speaks to a vast majority of Americans, so it naturally became the most popular song in fucking America.
Yep.
But you can't admit that, for reasons I'll get into later.
It's terrifying, Colin. And I disagree, Joseph. He says they're not scared. They're most likely way too arrogant to be scared. I disagree. They are petrified of a populist movement because they cannot survive it.
They're only scared about the stories they report on.
If a true populist movement based in patriotism, nationalism, and
American values?
American values, to put it simply,
Yeah.
they cannot survive.
No.
This type of propagandistic entity cannot exist in a society that doesn't acknowledge disingenuous reporting and nonsense. So I disagree. They know that they can't survive. That's the same reason that CNN, all these people are doing what they're doing, because they can't survive. That's the same reason that Fox News threatened to sue anybody who rebroadcast their stream, because they
Yeah.
can't afford to lose the views.
Yes.
The #1 news network of the top 5
Yes.
can't afford to lose the views.
And they fucked up hard when they signed with Rumble for exclusive streaming rights, because you know who doesn't give a fuck about that? Rumble.
Yeah.
And everybody that streamed that shit, through all the problems that came with streaming on Rumble, because there was a lot of
Timcast was
drops.
bad,
It was,
yeah.
and that was for everybody, right? But I will say, leaps and bounds, because yes, there was a lot of drops, there was a lot of frame drops, there was all this shit, but it was still better. It was still better than the last time there was that big. What was it when Crowder was doing that? I think it was the last midterm debate or something like
Something
that.
like
I can't remember that, but yeah,
Maybe just an election
far
special.
far more volume and less fuck ups.
Yeah.
Come in strides. But anyways, and I will address some of these things as we get towards the end, because we need to just pontificate on high towards the end of this thing.
These far-right figures are successful in associating themselves directly with this song, it could potentially open up a wider audience that they might normally not have access to all the time.
Okay, so concern around opportunists latching on to the song to boost their own profiles. But is there concern that the song itself could actually turn listeners into conspiracy theorists?
The concern is that mainstreaming this stuff helps to normalize it. Michael Crenshaw saw this.
Mainstreaming. Normalize what?
Normalize the fact that the man has got their fucking boot on your neck and trying to pull out every goddamn penny you have from your pocket and trying to get you in line and do exactly what you're told. Mainlining that concept? Oh, wait. Is that not a fucking reality? Is that not a fucking reality? It's 100% a reality. These people, 1 second. We're almost done.
Normalize
was
this
a black-
extremist adjacent content.
Dude, they do not. I'm gonna say exactly what I told you the other day when I texted you back about this.
Anti-racist skinhead in Chicago 40 years ago. He said that racist music from
What
the
does that
UK.
even mean? What is an anti-racist skinhead?
I have I mean, it
Is that
sounds
a
like
black
Abraham X.
skinhead?
Kennedy.
Like-
It's Abraham X. Kennedy that shaves his head.
Right.
That's what that sounds like to
Right.
me. Because you just an anti-racist skinhead.
Yeah.
So that's Abraham X. Kennedy, but without any hair.
Right.
I don't get what you just said, but it sounds good to the propagandized.
Played a role in shifting the attitudes of people around him.
One day they would have a Confederate flag patch or button, or they would have a screwdriver shirt on. And sometimes they would still be nice to me. And so then I would have to sit there and figure out, like, this dude listens to music that talks about killing my people, but he's still acting like everything's okay.
So it's not like we're going to see anything change overnight, but if we continue to see these messages mainstreamed over time, it could shift people's beliefs. And I'll note, Layla,
From
NPR,
what to what?
Yeah.
Shift their beliefs from,
From
what to what?
This kind of blanket far right extremist that you've just decided to label everybody that likes the song with,
Right.
to violent anti-racist skinhead. I don't. What you're saying makes no sense. First of all,
No, and that's because
but you're using the right words.
The only opinion that this stands to awaken anybody to is that the people who lead you don't give a fuck about you.
Yes.
They don't care about you, and
Yep.
that's what they're terrified of.
Your dollar ain't worth shit, and it's taxed to no end. Tell me that's a fucking lie.
did reach out asking to speak with Oliver Anthony, but received no response.
Because he doesn't want to fucking talk to you.
Why would he want to talk to you?
Why?
Why would he waste his fucking time talking to you for you to clip him out of context and then put him up and call him a fucking
Yes.
extremist? Why?
Word.
What benefit does he gain from that? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. He only stands to lose. I think that's about it.
PR's Odette Yusuf, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, that's it. Okay. Congratulations, NPR.
That's what they think of
You've
you.
continued to fuck yourself in the ass because you guys are a bunch of status fucking cunts.
That's a clip too.
That's exact. Well, maybe. I
Maybe
might have
right
just ruined
before
that.
part. Just right before that part.
I can bleep myself out.
You're
How
a
about
bunch
that?
of status. Boom. Salt the streets.
Because you want to look for the extremists? Look in the fucking mirror, NPR.
Yeah.
You guys are propagandizing so many fucking people to your nonsensical world to get as many people as you can violently turned up against what is happening now, against this populist movement that's pushing back against these rich men north of Richmond, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term. And with any pushback, you have to label them extremists. And to do that, you have to propagandize to them. And to do that, you sit there and you make fucking clips like this, or every other day on your stupid fucking show to activate as many far left extremists as that you possibly can.
Yes.
You want to look for who's the domestic violent extremist? It's fucking you, NPR. You are causing the violence in the streets by telling these people lies every single day in and day out. And then when all of a sudden there's any kind of pushback in the version of a fucking song that talks about the corruption going on, the pushback against the welfare state that is corrupting every mind out there that's willing to take advantage of that system, the plight of men who you consistently shit on constantly and how often they're fucking killing themselves because of this, you are the fucking extremists that are pushing this propaganda and pushing us further and further and further to splitting apart in a violent clash. Every single violent confrontation that has taken place on a widespread scale over the last 8 fucking years is because of the propaganda that you have done to activate your far left extremists to get out there and start firebombing people, to throw. How long did the siege at the fucking federal courthouse in Portland go? Over 100
days.
fucking days. You tried to burn down St. John Church and at the next door to the White House. Nobody said anything about that. People burned down entire fucking cities, damn near. Buildings, all
blocks.
city blocks. And how did you report that? Fiery, but mostly peaceful. You people are the fucking violent extremists here that are trying to propagandize into everybody into becoming a status fucking shill so that you can roll over anybody that has any kind of basis and sense in freedom and liberty. You people are the fucking extremists. Shut the fuck up and go away. You're not wanted here anymore. We're Americans. We believe in freedom and liberty. We don't care to hear your propaganda bullshit anymore. Go the fuck away. Shut up. Nobody should take these people serious. They are trying to split us apart every day. And when there's a slight fraction in there, they build on it and try to push us farther apart. You people are driving the end of the country You're driving us to the end of the country. You're driving people to go fucking insane and to have violence on the streets. You people are behind this, not anyone else pushing back against that. We're pushing back against you because you people want the downfall of the American society. You want a fucking standard operation European system where there's one fucking dictator in charge, one king in charge, and that's fucking Joe Biden. That's all you want. We want the freedom to live our lives the way America should be. And that threatens your hegemony on power. That was my rant. Sorry.
Dude, big facts.
Let's go.
Big fucking facts, dude.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every